Hey, what's going on, people? This your boy here, Luke, back at you. We got you another video. You know, this is probably going to be like a really not hot topic in the YWC anymore, but you know, to me, it's still very, very relevant because there's so many guys that are so underused in the WWE and in other companies as well. But this video is strictly the WWE. We have a lot of guys in the WWE that are clearly under 200, 220 pounds. And these guys look extremely small, very small, compared to most of the main eventers. You know, all the guys that Vince has, booked to win the title, which in this case right now is Randy Orton and John Cena, they're both over 6'4" or 6'5", or however tall they are, and they both weigh about, I don't know, what, 250 pounds? I'm taking a rough guess here. But that's always been Vince's idea for like a top guy. His top guys have to be these huge buff guys that have like no in-ring work technical abilities whatsoever. They can just do a couple of clotheslines and just do some stupid thrust kick or something for a finisher or whatever, and that's it. Where that might have been relevant like in the 1980s, back in the days of Hulk Hogan. Granted that Hulk Hogan is still running the shit of which is called TNA here in Orlando. And I have to laugh at myself right there because TNA really is complete shit. But that's another that's a whole nother video, man. See, because TNA is an excuse from this either, but that's why I want to do them on a different video. What's the point of even having an Intercontinental title and a U.S. title or any other titles for any of these other guys? But yeah, what's the point of having any of these other guys if you're never gonna fucking use them? I almost want to I'm laughing so bad right now because I want to cry because it's so sad. All right, this is fucking incredible. All right, man. Like I said, this isn't the 80s anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like nowadays, guys actually know how to do like, I don't know, like viable moves that look cool, and wrestling has changed. Okay, man, this isn't eat your fruity pebbles and take your vitamins and brother. Come on, brother. No, man, this is over. It's nowadays, like especially in a lot of the indie companies. Like, and I know probably a lot of you don't watch any indie wrestling whatsoever, and I'm not gonna knock you for not. I've had a lot of my friends tell me that, like, whenever I try to present them to an indie show, like, I remember a particular time, my friend Gabe was talking about wrestling and whatnot, and he was talking about how, crappy mainstream wrestling is, and that's why he doesn't watch anymore. So I gave him one of my DVDs. I gave him Dragon Gate USA Freedom Fight 2010, which I thought was a very good pay-per-view, and he didn't like it. The reason he didn't like it was because the venue was too small and there was no crowd and whatnot. But the one thing that he did agree upon, other than all the bashing that he gave it, was that the wrestling was great. And part of the reason the wrestling was so great is because most of the guys on that show didn't weigh more than 200 pounds or 220 pounds. These are small guys that just go and they go for these top titles and they get over a lot. And I don't understand, like, if an indie company, which is supposed to be inferior to the WWE, can actually use their talent properly and not bury them no matter how big or small they are. How come you guys can't? This is ridiculous. Okay, it doesn't matter what company you go to in terms of the indies, and I'm not trying to sound like like I'm bashing WWE and I'm this huge indie fan. I like all wrestling, okay? I watch everything. I don't care what it is. I really don't care about the venue and the lighting and the special effects and the pyro and all that stupid crap. If the WWE had none of that and it was just a bunch of people cheering and there was only 2 camera angles, I'd be fine with that. I don't need all the excess crap. Yeah, it makes it look pretty and the huge arena and crowd is nice, but that's irrelevant. What matters is the promos and the wrestling. And like I said, in a lot of these small companies, the wrestling is just so great. and said they know how to use talent. So WWE, you need to look at some of these companies and just, I don't know, learn something, okay, about how to use your lighter guys. Why don't you make like a light heavyweight division title, for anyone that's like under 220 pounds or something like that, and get rid of the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, and just make two separate titles, each a light heavyweight title, and put it on each show, and have people defend for it in feuds that make sense, that are just as compelling and and cared for by the fans as the main event. You want to get the fans to care about these guys. You want us to get into the characters. So if you put them in a viable storyline, and make it good, and is a good match, people will buy into it, and you get better ratings, and people like the show better, and people stop bashing you all the time. You got so many guys that are never going to see the world heavyweight title, like Evan Bourne. He's never going to see it. Sin Cara is never going to see it. Chavo Guerrero is, of course, he's been around forever. He's never going to see it. Tyson Kidd's never going to see it. JTG is never going to see it. Trent Beretta's never going to see it. There's so many guys who are never going to see that title, and there's going to be Daniel Bryan might not even see that title. The American Dragon is not going to see that title, more than likely. And if he never sees it, that'd be a mockery. So successfully right now, all they've done is bury him too. And he's the best wrestler in the world, arguably, as far as I'm concerned. So what the hell? Why are these guys just why don't they have a relevant title? Like a light heavyweight title just to feud over. See, what you could do, Vince, is you can just take the pay-per-views and you can say, okay, this pay-per-view right here, the main event of the pay-per-view is going to be the World Heavyweight Championship, all right? And and the WWE Championship is going to be the secondary, championship defense pay-per-view. Then you can have the tag team titles defended at every pay-per-view, and have them in some other form. But I'll get to that in a whole other video. I'm not going to go there right now. I don't want to go off on a tangent here. But you want to have the light heavyweight championship then featured on the next pay-per-view, and have both the titles from both shows be the prominent main events, the first and the secondary main event. Have those be the main events. Go to the next pay-per-view, then have the heavyweight titles as the main events, and then vice versa. And then whatever else you throw in there, you throw in there. So at least what you're doing is, not only are you getting all the titles prominently featured as the main event and being important, but at the same time you're giving the storylines time to develop. Because I mean half the time, like right now, what are we 2 weeks away from Capital Punishment? Is it 2.5 weeks, whatever the hell we are away from it? And what do we know about it? I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the only thing we really know is that Sheamus is fighting Orton. So, that's all we really know. I think R-Truth's going to go against John Cena. I think Ziggler's going to go against Kofi, but that's all irrelevant. Because the matches might not happen, and part of the reason they might not happen is because they don't know how to use these guys viably at all. They might decide just to say screw it and put some stupid segment on there with Hornswoggle and expect people to buy it. If you have two different championships on two different pay-per-views and you alternate, so one pay-per-view has one has the other, from each show, it'd be great, because the storylines would be incredible. Because it might take 3 or 4 weeks to tell us who's going to be in the pay-per-view, but then that's what we're used to. We're used to knowing the week of the pay-per-view anyway, but then we'll have a whole other month to get billed for it. So by the time it gets to the pay-per-view, it could be strong. And that'll make the heavyweight division and the lightweight division feature profitable shit. They'll be credible. The guys that aren't getting pushed right now will be credible, and the heavyweight guys can be credible. WWE, if you want John Cena and Randy Orton to still be the champions in the heavyweight division, that's perfectly fine. Just make a light heavyweight division for both Raw and SmackDown, both having their titles, and make them the primary pay-per-view, and then the next pay-per-view make the primary, the heavyweight. It's completely fair. You'll get so much more ratings, and like I said, we'll have a whole other storyline to buy into, and we'll be able to buy into the characters because their characters will mean something because they're going for something that's important. As far as I'm concerned now, if anyone went for the U.S. title, Intercontinental title, whatever happens to any of them titles, whoever wins them, they're all way over worthy for those titles because those titles are so tarnished. Their legacies have been destroyed, and they need to get rid of them and bring in, like I said, some light heavyweight championships for each show, and just alternate pay-per-views and let these feuds, build, so all these guys get time. They all look good. So we need a lightweight heavy division. We need it. Anyone under 220 pounds, that's perfectly fair. Because they gotta make it. All Vince's wannabe monsters, in terms of what he thinks is a monster, be monsters, and it can look semi-real. And then the light heavyweight guys will look semi-real as well. So let me know what you guys think. Do you think that it'd be a good idea? Do you think that bringing like a light heavyweight title and getting rid of the titles that they have now, the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title, just letting them lay to rest, before their legacy is tarnished anymore. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me why. If you think that the titles are still relevant and they still mean something, please tell me why. I'm not gonna bash you for it. I really just want to know. Like if you have a different opinion than me, if you think my opinion's great, make a vid telling me. If you think my opinion sucks, make a vid telling me. Or leave me a comment. Do whatever you want. I'll be back at you another video later on, people. Take it easy. Peace.